All right, welcome everyone to the Tech Confab podcast, and I'm your host Joel Budu, and I'll be engaging in insightful conversations with experts in the technology industry as we talk about the technology industry and how innovation is being used to handle various issues and problems that we have in our society. Welcome once again. I would like us to get very interactive today. And as usual, so feel free to type in the comment section your comments, contributions, your questions, and everything that you want to express in the comment section below. Make sure you follow our social media channels on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. You can see the links down below. And the music you heard at the beginning is by Visionary, a very good friend of mine, Papa Harrison. You can also see a link to his profile where you get all the best beats and music tracks for all your purposes. So check the links down below. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll just be waiting for you to follow and you continue. Welcome everyone. You can just express your excitement. Tell us where you are viewing from, your name. Just introduce yourself and just be interactive in the comment section below. And our guest for today will be joining us soon. And also share the link with your friends and family. We are live now. Share the link right away. You can share this on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere, on WhatsApp. The hashtag is Tech Confab. So share it. You can tweet about it. You can do a Facebook post on it. You can do an Instagram story on it. Just share the link with your friends. Yes, so welcome Joseph Budu, welcome Dad. Welcome Harry, welcome Henry, welcome Samuel, welcome Natasha, welcome Sir Lord, all to the stream. If you don't comment, I won't see your name. So comment down below and I'll mention your name. So I guess for today, he goes by the name Senyo Botchie. He's a very good and old friend of mine, and he is a senior researcher at the Noguchi Memorial Institute at the University of Ghana, and we'll be talking on the topic, the science behind COVID-19. So we all know the pandemic that we are all living in right now. So we're going to talk about the science into the details and what we need to know with regards to COVID-19. So he'll be joining us in a little bit. Just hold on and I'll be right back. Senyo.
Yeah, Joel. Yeah.
Yes, so welcome to the show, Senyo. Welcome to the show, Senyo.
Thank you, Joel. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. Over 20 years, I guess, hasn't it?
Yeah, over 20 years. Yeah. When was the last time? I think I heard you were around in the University of Ghana, I think 10 years ago, but we didn't get to meet because we're doing
Yeah,
something else.
yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, those of us that don't
But
know,
it's long. Good to see you.
those of us that don't know,
Good to see you. Good.
I grew up on University of Ghana campus. My mom was a lecturer, and I think Senor, your dad was a lecturer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
That is
basically
good.
grew up on University of Ghana campus. That's years and years ago, and we are reunited here in 2020. Good to see you again,
And
Senor.
good to see you.
All right. So, Senyo, what have you been up to lately? I know you have been working at Noguchi. What else have you been up to lately?
So as you already, I'm sure you've already introduced me, I hope. As you already said, I'm a research assistant at Noguchi Memorial Research. I have been in Noguchi for over the past 8 years, and I have been into drug discovery in cancer cells and parasites research. So by profession, I'm actually a molecular biologist, especially working in parasites. I'm currently doing my master's in clinical microbiology at the Confab University of Technology. And also, as part of my work, I had to come to the UK drug discovery, related tropical diseases. Drug discovery into related tropical diseases. So, aside globetrotting and aside a few times here and there, I was basically trying to keep myself deep in the lab. So, yeah, that's what I've been up
Okay,
to.
okay,
So,
okay. I mean, a few weeks ago, I was expecting to hear from you that you've come out with a vaccine for the coronavirus to save everyone. How come that didn't come up?
See, on the topic of the vaccines for the coronavirus, my take on this, my view on this is that it's quite a challenging effort, and people are doing well. A lot of research groups are coming together and working around the clock to try and fight this disease. It's alarming, it's serious, it's devastating, but we can only keep hope and really stay strong and stay safe. The way the vaccine works is that you need to understand the virus, you need to understand how it affects, how it mutates, in order to know how to arrest it and make a vaccine that will last longer in terms of fighting the COVID-19. So I think it would be a hint or be a rush to get a vaccine now, but we are still hoping that by 2021 we should get a vaccine circulating in our system to help arrest the COVID. So we are not there yet, but hopefully we get it.
By 2021, that's a long way away. I mean, why does it have to
Well,
take
that's
so
what
long
I'm saying.
to develop a vaccine? Can you throw more light on that?
I wouldn't want to get too technical. As the expert is saying, it takes, like I said before, it takes a longer period of time to get a vaccine towards this virus instantly because even we are trying to understand, experts are trying to understand, um, experts are trying to understand the virus much better. So now they're trying to understand how the virus is replicating, how it's mutating, how it's infecting other people. Once they get that understanding, then they can easily get a vaccine to fight the virus. So I can't say much to the techniques of the vaccine development. I leave that to the experts to probably enlighten the world on how they want to do that in details, but I can't talk to that right now, unfortunately.
Okay, okay, that's great. Before we move on,
Yeah.
how has the lockdown lift been for you guys in Ghana? And you guys can comment
So,
in the comment section below. But Senor, how has it been? What are your thoughts on, it's a very
you know,
controversial topic. What are your thoughts
uh,
on the lift on the lockdown in Ghana?
Joe, it's quite interesting and a lot of mixed things here in Ghana. Most Ghanaians, not all Ghanaians are privileged enough to have homes. Let me put it that way, to well-gated communities to live in. Some of them live in slums. Some of them live on the street. Some of them have to find a shelter wherever they could find one. You understand? So with this lockdown that came in place 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of confusion. Basically, people didn't understand what the virus was all about, know how serious it was. So with time, it got better because what then now saw that it was a very serious issue, and they decided to adhere to the protocols being given. Obviously, in every community or in every home, there's a mentor. So, um, so
Exactly.
people would just be not. some are stubborn, and there will be a lot of begging here and there with the police and the military. But one thing I like about Ghanaians is that we learn quickly. Even if you don't understand, we want to know and we learn. So Nanado and his government have done so well. I mean, in putting this virus in check so far, and they're doing their best. It's very difficult to manage people, managing systems, managing policies, managing finances. That is easy, but managing people, it's a whole job on its own. So I can say for a fact that even though it's uncomfortable, we are doing our best so far as a country, and I applaud everyone for that, for what we've done so far. Yeah, that's my take on it. But you there, in the UK, what are your thoughts from what you're observing from outside of Ghana?
I mean, I think everybody's expectation was for an extension, and the only question was as to how long an extension it would be, whether it's going to be less than 3 weeks or more than 3 weeks. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think it came as a shock to a lot of people, me inclusive. I was utterly shocked at that announcement. And, they're saying that is the experts that, came about with that decision. And, you realize that all across the globe, various leaders of various nations have been making, differing decisions as to how to handle it. I mean, I know that Sweden, for example, are taking a very, very, very controversial approach to the whole thing, and they are saying that it's working. They are not doing any lockdown or anything, but they are just adhering to social distancing and I think face masks a little bit. But I mean, I know the US, for example, is having a lot of cases, and they haven't had any lockdown. They are just adhering to the social distancing. And the example that I would give to myself is how China and some of the Asian countries also handled it. They had a very strict lockdown measure. So if you ask me, lockdown would still be the best. But then again, the other argument is about the economy and people that don't have the luxury of remote work and working from home and still being paid by their employers for time that they are off and all that, like the traders on the streets, the shoemaker and then all those people literally they are living hand to mouth, so they'll need to go to work to survive. And I think the government is not able to do that, to keep up that sustenance for a long time. That is how come I think that decision was made. Yeah, Senyo, you were saying something.
So like I said, not to cut you, but it's good that you actually compared our system to what's happening in the outside world. You'll understand that with systems, when it comes to such cases, first of all, this is unprecedented in Ghana, such a lockdown of this magnitude to start with. So it's quite difficult, and we are learning as we go, you understand? The systems that are incorporated in Russia and even North Korea cannot be compared to systems incorporated in the US. So they know their population, they know their citizens, they know what systems would work and what policies to put in place to keep them in check. You understand? I would say for a fact that we, as a country, copied from what we thought at work, which was the lockdown system incorporated by the Chinese. And that's when we locked down, we visit all the areas where people are highly populated. And once we do that, we know that we are arresting the spread of the virus, and we also block infected people from transmitting to other uninfected people in different regions of the country.
Yeah.
So I think that we are basically, as a government or as a people, we are trying systems. Now we are going to a system where they're taking the lockdown off, and they're saying that we should observe social distancing. Okay? And my take on this, I feel like we are trying to see if the system will work much better than the lockdown system and compared to what's happening outside. If they see that it's not working accordingly, I even saw a tweet by the information minister warning Ghanaians that if you do not adhere to social distancing and the spike in infections, there could be a possibility for a total lockdown, that would be a big problem. I mean, we are not ready
Yeah,
as a country.
yeah.
So with those, I think with those precautional statements, it's kind of keeping people in check. See, Joe, I let me be frank with you. Nanado has lifted the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone is free to go anywhere, but you go to the streets and the streets are still empty. Everyone is
Yes.
staying home because they've come to understand that the virus, as we see it, is nothing to joke with. Okay, there were people who are actually saying that even this whole virus thing is a propaganda to dethrone the government, and there's no virus in Ghana, and they don't even believe in it. A funny example happened where I went watching 3 days ago, and I sort of I was wearing gloves, I was wearing those masks and everything to protect myself. And the watching seller was basically just touching stuff with her hand, and she had no nose mask. And I asked her that, madam, you are selling this stuff and you get in contact with all these people. Don't you want to protect yourself with a nose mask? You know, she told me.
What is
She
the
that well, bought a whole bag. She has cooked herself, so yeah, so no virus can come here. I'm telling you.
yeah.
And I smiled and I was like, wow, okay. And this is the safety of a lot of people. You know, I don't blame them because the sensitization is still ongoing. People are so slowly getting to understand the severity of the infection. People are now understanding how the virus actually is transmitted. And once they get the hold of it, once Ghanaians actually understand what is going on, and trust me, I know once they understand what's going on, everyone will fall in place.
Yeah, I mean, my
So,
my issue with that is that
yeah.
with the social distancing, for example, I don't think we're actually really adhering to it that much. Take an example, India, for example. If you look at India and you see, I think some of the images have come in the media, you realize that they're actually strictly adhering to the social distancing in India, at least from what we've seen. So you realize that when Indians go
Mm-hmm.
to the marketplace, they have markings on the path or on the road where you're supposed to stand, and
Mm-hmm.
basically everybody has to stand, 3 meters away and all that. But we don't see all those things in Ghana because the market women and all that, they are not practicing all those things. And like you said, I mean, a lot of Ghanaians also really don't see the tangibility of a virus. I mean,
Yeah.
because a lot of Ghanaians haven't seen people around them getting infected, and they've not really seen images and videos of Ghanaians getting infected. It's like some imaginary the disease that they don't really have an understanding of. Okay, so I think these are some of the issues that we
Mm-hmm.
have in our country. That's why I have the opinion that the lockdown measures would be much effective than allowing Ghanaians to go on the streets and do their trading and all that, and tell them to do social distancing and wear face masks, and people won't do it. And I
You
even
know,
understand face masks. The prices were inflated, and even to get a face mask, people were paying 300 cedis and a huge amount of money just for face masks and hand sanitizers and all that. So I mean, to imagine somebody who does the hand to mouth thing as we are talking about, how is that person going to buy those protective equipment?
uh, Joe, very sad that you actually brought up this topic. It's it's unfortunate that people are actually cashing in on this unfortunate incident. You notice that even not it's just not nose masks and hand sanitizer that have gone up. Even food items have spiked up seriously because of this pandemic. Um, like you said, the people who are on the streets who can afford face masks and nose masks and gloves and other things, how do they survive? The government are trying their best to provide food, but I think that, in my opinion, if you're trying to protect the less privileged in society, you need to provide at least some PPE to protect them as well. Even
Yeah,
with the food, it's again, like I said, systems take time. Okay, they're trying to do some good, but they're actually um, breaking the social distancing that we are always preaching about because people literally jump on cars just to get free food. It's a problem, not just to the people around, but even to their health and their personality as well. Even when the lockdown was lifted, there was a lot of bickering here and there. A lot of people had different opinions, and people were really alarmed. It's a problem because we are at a point where our infectivity, infection rate has increased. As I speak to you today, we have 1,154 positive cases. As I speak to you now.
Yeah.
Now, it makes sense that if you're going to lift a lockdown, the infectivity curve has, but we are at peak.
Yeah.
And the lockdown has been lifted. So people are raising the concern that it's true, we've seen some positive cases. We don't know who else is symptomatic or asymptomatic, who is scared to come out. Because you have situations where people are running away from quarantine camps, I put in parentheses. Why they're running away, we don't know. They've been explained to the dangers they are putting other people in if they run away. We don't know. As to if they've been caught, we don't know. You understand? There have been a case where in the northern region, a lady from Guinea scaled a wall into a person's apartment, got hurt, wounded everything, and ran away. So now, we don't know if the lady has been apprehended or not. Two gentlemen from Padama, Old Padama, in Accra, has also escaped from when they tested positive because they were scared. I'm pretty sure that if they understood the dangers of them running away and infecting their loved ones, they would have considered better. I do not know. I do not know what was being told to them. I do not know the approach that was given to them. But I think a lot more sensitization needs to be done to the local citizens, not the elite, because the elite have TVs, radios, internet, and everything. But what about the local population who don't have access to these technology equipment? What's going on? They don't even know what's going on in the US. They don't see people dying on TV. They don't know what COVID-19 is.
Yeah.
All they know is Corona. Oh, yes, Corona.
Colonia.
Colonia. You hear coronavirus. You hear Brony. You hear all kinds of funny names, A lot of people are concerned. You know, when you go to the market, you see local women, local market women actually wanting to know how they can protect themselves. And some even result in using appetition because they don't have access to alcohol, because they don't have access to alcohol. So at least when they use that to wash their hands, they're fine. It's a problem. They're really willing to adhere, but they don't know what to do. And it's good that we are sensitizing, speaking in local languages on TV. But then the question again is, how many people have access to electricity, to watch television, to know what is going on?
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Let's not be quick to assume that once you're a health staff or health facilitator, or you are in the health sector, you should know how to use the PPE. Correct education on how to wear PPE is very necessary in order not to contaminate yourself.
Exactly.
Even when the Ebola in Liberia, there are a lot of deaths to health personnel because of the inappropriate use of PPE. And that's very important. You don't take off your gloves before taking off everything else. You need to know the correct sequence in order to take off your PPE so that you not be a danger to the environment and not a danger to yourself. These are the kind of education that needs to be given to the common population in order for everyone else to adhere to it and be safe. But if you use force and you tell me that you're sitting up here, they say stay home, you're not staying home, so we'll lash you, we'll punish you, you kneel down the whole day. When I leave, you also leave. When you sit on the floor, it's true that you're keeping a person home, but the person still doesn't understand what exactly is going on. Why am I being locked at home? Why am I still where I am?
Exactly.
It's sad that you'll lift up a lockdown and people will be having parties, jubilating in the streets as if they've been in prison. That's clear to tell you that they don't understand what exactly is going on in the country, and they need to be educated accordingly. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to say, it's something I've been telling my friends about, when it comes to the timing of, the implementation of certain measures, right? And, in reaction to people saying that the lockdown should have been done much earlier. I have the opinion that the timing has to be as close as possible to the peak, right, of your infections. Otherwise, if you lock down too early and your population gets stressed out or tired, or your economy is not able to sustain the lockdown measures for that long, then it means that it wouldn't be that effective. Do you get that?
Yeah, but I beg to differ on that point.
Yeah, sure.
You know, in ideal systems, in ideal cases, once we knew that the infection was near our borders, we should have closed the borders. That's the sentiment of every Ghanaian. Okay, that why did we have to wait for 2 cases, imported cases, to get into the country before we started taking measures? Okay, I have to pretend to know what the government is doing, but I'm pretty sure that at some point when they saw that we're in danger of being infected, then they started putting in place policies. This is a case where Ebola was in Liberia and it spread to other countries. We did not close our borders because we had the opinion that we could not get Ebola in Ghana. At that point, health professionals were actually advocating that we should close our borders to prevent any spread into our country.
Yeah.
We are of the opinion that as Ghanaians, you know that, Ghana, Ebola in Baha. Ghana, Ebola cannot come to this country. So that I want to believe that's the same idea, or should I say mentality, that we had until we knew that it is truly among us and these people have been exposed to people. Then it got real. We should not be quick to disregard that we are people of culture. Okay, we believe in hearts, we believe in handshakes, we believe in getting to know people better through social gatherings and all that. That is why it's making it very difficult for us to adhere to social distancing. On the case of the curve, the infectivity curve, ideally, once you have, from what I've read and what I know, when your infectivity curve is flattening. When I say flattening, I mean that obviously once the infection starts, it will peak. Okay?
Yeah.
Once it peaks up and flattens down, then you can start to relax on the measures put in place by using one policy at a time.
Yeah.
Only taking adjust back to normal way of life.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's the argument here that we are not even flattening that. We are not even at the peak. We don't know what the peak is of the infectivity rate in Ghana.
Exactly.
But at this, the president has made a comment in his tweet that he's actually thinking about the common Ghanaian, because people are complaining of hunger, people are complaining of not having any money, and are begging that they should open shops and work for a while. And if the infection should go up, as a man said on TV3, then they should lock them up again. I understand that the government is thinking about the people as well, but we need to be careful not to use compassion to let this virus spread out of control. So it's a balance. I mean, it's a very great area, and we don't know what policy is the best for you. Hoping that it doesn't go against us in any way as the population.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I agree with you. On that point of, the curve and managing the cases as you go along time, right? And I think I told a couple of my friends about that we have no idea whether we've gotten to the peak of the cases yet. We don't know because the curve is progressive. So if we are releasing measures now, then it means that obviously it has a higher tendency of continuing in that exponential growth. Because
we hope it's there.
Yes, and that's what we really want to avoid, because I think the numbers that we've been experiencing, it has been exponential, but it's on the lower side because we are in the earlier stage of this, right? So once we get to the latter stage of exponential growth, then it gets very, very bad, right? After After a couple of
You know,
weeks of serious
yeah,
exponential growth, then your number starts going into the tens of thousands, starts going into the hundreds of thousands, and it's difficult to control at that point.
we hope yeah, we hope you don't get
Yes.
there. We hope. We hope that doesn't get to that. We hope that doesn't get to that.
Yeah, that is what every Ghanaian will be praying for and hoping for. So we're hoping for the best. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah.
so you are a researcher, right? In Noguchi, right? Can you tell us a little bit? I want us to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about COVID-19, just to understand the science behind it, right? So can you just explain to us just briefly, what is a virus and how exactly do they infect humans?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. It's a very beautiful question. And for the benefit of our viewers, I'll try not to get too technical
Yeah,
on the
just
details of
just
the
break it
biology and
down
the body's
for
gonna.
a layman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what we should understand that a virus is like a parasite, okay, that um, it can't survive without a host cell, okay.
Okay.
So once outside in the environment, it's inactive. It can't unless it infects you. Then it can start this whole process of growing, multiplying, and killing the cells. Okay. In the sense of speaking of coronavirus is among the family of viruses. Okay. This coronavirus family has what we call SARS and MERS viruses is in there.
I see.
Now, SARS, as we all know, in 2010, a pandemic was a serious problem, respiratory disease, and SARS is basically severe acute respiratory syndrome. Okay,
Okay.
and 1 in 10 of the people infected were killed. That's how severe that virus was. With MERS is also Middle Eastern um, respiratory syndrome, and that normally infected people from the Middle East area. That's why they give the name MERS. Okay, coronavirus, this COVID-19 we are seeing belongs to that family. Okay, and they gave it the name SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 because it behaves just like SARS.
All right.
Okay, so SARS virus 2. That was the name given to it because it was very similar to that of the SARS that had been isolated before, from what the literature says. And initially, with this virus, it was said to be a very mild form of the virus as compared to SARS, which would hit you and kill you instantly. But what we are saying is that as it infected from human to human to human, it mutated very quickly. We are seeing that it got more fatal. Um, what what the researchers are saying is that the virus was basically isolated from a bat in China.
Okay.
Somewhere the virus kind of adapted to that level of progression of immunity in order for it to proliferate. They had to overcome the immune cells of the bat in order to cause the disease. So most bats, because of that aggressive nature of their immune system, they're able to act as reservoirs for the virus.
Okay.
Now it's said that that was infected to those people in Wuhan was gotten from a pangolin. It is believed that the bat, for some funny reason, infected a pangolin with the virus, and someone somewhere and fed on the pangolin and had the virus transmitted to he, the human, and that's where the transmission started from. The interesting part about the virus is that initially we understood that it's an upper respiratory tract infection, meaning
Yeah.
that the virus infects both your throat area and your lungs. Your lungs here.
Yeah.
So with that, it was not fatal. It's very easy to treat. You can easily use some antiretrovirals and stuff, and you'll be fine. Or once your immune system is strong enough, you can overcome the infection. But what we are seeing is that over the months that we've seen, there has been developed cases where it has gone to the lungs. So scientists, researchers in the lab wanted to understand why so. How did it progress from the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract to cause such fatalities in the patients that have died? What they realized was that, like I said, I told you before, the virus is just a microorganism that can do nothing on its own outside the body.
Needs a host.
Okay, it can only attack you when it's inside the host. Okay, so now what they saw was that when the virus obviously is transmitted through water droplets. Okay, so if anyone coughs or sneezes, an infected person coughs or sneezes in close proximity with you, and you inhale it, you can easily get a virus into your system. Or if someone coughs or sneezes on a surface, and you touch the surface, and you do not wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, or even disinfect your hands, and you touch your face, the probability of you get a virus into your system is higher. So that's why I advise you that wash your hands carefully and thoroughly with soap and running water. Running water is very important because then you don't have that case of reinfecting yourself from stagnant water. You understand? And also after that, wipe your hand and sanitize your hand just to be safe.
All right.
If you do not do that, you have the way of transmitting the virus onto yourself.
Okay.
And once it gets into your respiratory system, the virus needs what we call receptors on whatever cell is targeting in order for it to penetrate the cell and multiply and destroy the cell to cause a lot of the virus to be increased in the system. Okay? Now, when it does that, this receptor is called a ACE2 receptor.
Okay.
I know I'm getting a bit too technical.
Yeah, it's getting really technical.
It's
trying really hard to understand.
It's an ACE. So it's an ACE2 receptor, and once the virus attaches to this ACE2 receptor, it penetrates the cell on the cells located on the surface of the throat and the lungs, and invades the cell and destroys the cell. Okay. Once it starts destroying the cell, body has signals that you are under attack.
Okay.
So we need to fight the infection. So your immunity starts to work by releasing soldiers or shall I say antibodies towards the site of infection. Okay. Scientists have seen that this drop in the lung. Okay. And because the virus has high affinity for these receptors, it has evolved to the extent that it can move from the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract. If your immune system is not strong enough.
Okay. All right. So that's basically how come people have infections in their lungs and then they develop pneumonia and then they have respiratory tract failure and something shock. Is it septic shock?
Yeah.
I read about all that.
It's quite disturbing,
Okay.
Because when it gets to the lungs, it kind of looks like your immune system, if it's too strong, can go against you. That is how it's looking right now.
I see.
Because once the lungs and it has, it has a lot of the receptors there. So the virus is happy. Okay, they are invading, they are killing the cells, they are getting more, they are more, they are multiplying more and more in the system. Okay, once your cells are being killed, they form what we call pus. Okay, like liquid fluid, thick fluid in the lungs. And when you have a fluid in the lungs, it's very difficult to breathe because then your oxygen there is being pushed out and being depleted at a fast rate. That is why people have those respiratory infections that you're talking about, the difficulty to breathe because there's so much cells and the immune system is aggressively fighting the virus. So in doing so, it has adverse effects on you, the human being, if not checked well. So they have to put you on a ventilator to make sure that you're fine, you can breathe well, So there's a lot of factors that could lead to the severity of the infection. And so scientists are trying to look at these factors in order to clearly understand how the virus is able to migrate from the upper respiratory tract all the way down to the lower respiratory tract, and how they can for lack of a better word, mitigate the immunity of the host or patient in order to get an effective vaccine to be effective enough to kill the virus or inactivate the virus and prevent it from infecting these cells to make your body actually fight against each other. Researchers have seen that, there's a question where people ask that, okay, so I have been infected with coronavirus before and I've recovered. So does that mean I have immunity against the virus?
Exactly.
That's a very interesting question that has come up, and there are a lot of talks about it, globally around the world. And one scientist, I forgot his name, speculated that he's a virologist in the US. I forgot the university though, but he said he could speculate that you could be immune for just a year or two.
Yeah.
Then you could easily be infected again. But in what reports we've heard is that even people in China who had recovered from the virus had been reinfected with the virus. So, so there's a lot of conflicting stories here and there. And all these stories need to be checked and understood before we can have a lasting solution to this global pandemic.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, Senyo, on the point that you just mentioned, could it not be that somebody got infected with a particular strain and got reinfected with a different strain? Because I've read that right now researchers are saying there are 3 different strains of COVID-19 across the globe. And I know that Noguchi also did some research to also validate or probably add on that knowledge that came out. Is that a possibility, or what do you think about that?
Thank you for your question, Joel. It's a big possibility in the sense that I didn't mention this because I didn't get too technical.
Okay.
But as the reported, we have different types of mutations a virus can go through. Okay, and has been reported that this virus actually goes through a frame shift mutation. Okay, and we should take into account that the genomic makeup, the gene or the way we are made up as Africans will be different from the way Caucasians or Hispanics or even Asians are made up.
Okay.
So that probability of the virus replicating or mutating as compared to genetic diversity is a possibility. I am not saying that I know for a fact that it has mutated, but I am saying that it's a possibility and should not be ruled out. In response to what Noguchi in collaboration with WAGBIB found out about the whole genome sequencing, what I read was that they actually tested the positive cases of those who imported the virus into the country, okay, to see how different the virus was from that first reported in Wuhan. And what they've seen is that the virus has a 92% similarity.
I see.
The virus that was isolated in Wuhan. So basically, there's no major mutation to the virus currently. So with that expertise and with that new knowledge, they can now try and also sequence those viruses that are locally transmitted among the population to see how diverse that will be from those that were imported to the country, to have a better understanding on if the virus is actually mutating and adjusting itself to our system or not.
Okay. Yes. So we have a few questions from the comment section. We'll just handle the first one. So Daniel Usumensa is asking, so he's saying that there was a recent argument about the actual number of tested cases, and he would like to know if Ghana actually tested for the over 68,000 cases as indicated by the president recently, or what does this number actually represent?
Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting question, and it's quite unfortunate. Let me say that it's quite unfortunate that we are using this unfortunate incident to kind of politicize the way it's being reported. Okay.
Okay.
I would say for a fact that whatever case is tested and whatever is reported from the Noguchi is platform. Okay,
Okay.
is given to the Ghana Health Services and the information. There's a whole chain of report communication in order for it to be dispersed to we the common Ghanaians. Okay.
Okay.
The way the testing is done is it's possible, and I'm telling you for a fact that what you're saying is true. That we can have over 68,000
No,
cases in
Senyo,
Ghana.
I think the issue here is not really about the accuracy, right? But it's more like
Yeah,
let's say someone has the virus, right? He would have to be tested a number of times before you
yes,
can declare that person as being negative. So I believe that's what the argument is about, that somebody will be double counted, right? Because he has been tested a number of times. So it doesn't reflect are they saying that those are the actual human beings that have been tested, or just samples that they are talking about? Do you get what I mean?
I understand the question.
Yes.
I understand
So
the
I
question.
think that's the argument that I think people are talking about, not necessarily that it's inaccurate.
Okay, okay. So I think if he can cross-check, the head of department for biology, Noguchi,
Yeah.
came on today's news to actually give a detailed clarification on how the testing was done,
Yeah.
how the number of samples were pooled in thousands in
Okay.
order to determine what you're talking about. So you could have a check on that. I don't have the details to that information, so I wouldn't want to leave him on the actual details. But the head of department actually came out to clear the doubt on what was being asked, whether we actually could test over 60,000 or if there's a possible duplication of the numbers or not. So, yeah,
All
that's my
right.
take on it. But I
So
wouldn't
I
want to go
think,
into detail.
yeah, that was on the live stream from the Ministry of Information
Yeah.
on Facebook. So Daniel, you can probably check that
Mm-hmm.
stream for details on that.
Yeah.
Daniel still has another question here, and he's saying that how then are people treated since there's no confirmed vaccine out yet? And I think that's also another thing that I wanted to for you to highlight on.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know that viruses generally don't have a cure, and from what I know is that your immune system attacks the viruses. I want to know, right? And I got into a little bit of a debate with another friend of mine. Does your immune system actually kill totally the virus, or there's still you're still a carrier, even though let's say you're not showing the symptoms, or even though you have recovered? Do you still have small quantities of the virus in your body, or your antibodies eliminate totally the virus from your body? Like, can you just explain more on that? How does your immune system deal
Okay.
with viruses?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Let me answer the first question on the treatment of infected patients.
Okay.
Currently, you bear with witness that we don't, even the world at large, we are still coming for a good treatment for this COVID-19. There have been reports from publications speculating that hydroxychloroquine
Yeah.
could be a positive target
Yeah.
of attacking the metabolism of the virus. Because of that, people are trying to monopolize the system by hoarding most of these drugs. It is unfortunate because this drug has a lot of side effects, especially to the heart.
I
And
see.
if not handled properly, it could lead to a different problem altogether. In Ghana here, we heard of people, the Traditional Medicine Society advocating that they want to test about 25 different combination of medicines to see if they will work or not.
Yeah.
I can say that the world, as we see it now, we don't have, we are trying to understand the disease. We are trying to understand the virus. So there's still ongoing research to see what drug will actually actively work against the virus.
Okay.
So as of now, I would not like to mislead you by telling you that I know how these quarantine patients are being treated, because I do not know. For all you know, they are trying to probably just boost their immune system in whatever way for help their body actually fight the virus on their own. I do
Okay.
not know,
All right.
and I cannot effect. On the question on how your immune system works against the virus if you're infected and if you're a carrier or not. Like I explained before, when you're infected, when it was an respiratory tract infection,
Okay.
we knew that it could be managed because then your immune system was stronger enough to fight it and easily clear it from the system.
All right.
Okay. The moment it goes down to your lower tract, your lower respiratory tract, that is the fatality increases. That is where it becomes a problem. That is when it was changed from COVID-2 to SARS-CoV-2. You notice there was a change in name.
Okay.
Yeah, meaning that it infects just as SARS does. SARS does not infect your upper respiratory, it infects your lower respiratory tract, causing fluid accumulation in your lungs, making it difficult for you to breathe. And once it's difficult to breathe, it leads to most of these diseases that you mentioned, respiratory diseases that you mentioned, and you have to be on respirators and other things, and it causes a lot of complications. Yeah, so it causes a lot of complications. So the way it affects, it's true that your immune system has to be strong enough, as people have been reporting elsewhere. So people are sticking to immune tests and even a lot of decoctions to, as you say, born a hobby, to kind of strengthen your body against the virus. Even though it's a good thing, but I really am against it in the sense that if your immune system is too strong in a way, or you take these immune boosters to a certain level, you should know that you're actually going to have a lot of side effects as well to your system. And if your immune system is over attacking the virus in your respiratory tract, you should understand that you have a lot of adverse effects to you yourself as a human being.
Yeah.
You understand? Because of the constant attack of the antibodies against it. Now, the way the body works is that it releases certain form of antibodies that are called a neutralizing antibody.
Okay.
What these neutralizing antibodies do is that they get to the virus. The spikes that attach the host cell to cause the infiltration, they inactivate the spike.
Okay.
To making the virus actually inactive. So you get a virus inside you, but it cannot infect the cell to cause it to multiply in your system. So there have been reports that people who have been pre-infected before develop a lot of these antibodies that kind of neutralizes the virus. So if your immune system is strong enough to produce a lot of these antibodies, for a year or two, you should be safe.
Okay.
That is what is being reported now by some virologists and some health personnel, not in Ghana, but outside Ghana. And that is where the world is trying to understand if the authenticity of that statement, if truly that could be a way.
If you recover, right? If you recover from coronavirus, that means the virus has been depleted from your system. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So you are not a carrier you're not a carrier, right? So far,
the research that the report that we brought out, that is what they are saying. That's what they are saying.
Yeah, because the common cold is also part of the corona family, right? And influenza, flu, they're all part of the corona virus family, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you do recover from any of these diseases or ailments, you are no longer a carrier. Like it has effectively been eradicated from your system, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I could say that to be a bit misleading, to say the least. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of biologists were thought to debunk that theory to a large extent. Because that would be track viruses into a pool and kind of saying that because of the way the symptoms that coronavirus, COVID-19, is showing, it could replicate to other codes of flu or influenza viruses, which would be quite untrue. And unfortunately, that is said anywhere else.
Oh no, okay, so no, I'm not saying COVID behaves in the same way as those ones, but I'm just saying that those other ones, you actually do recover completely from them, and you are no longer a carrier, right?
Yes. Okay. Because they infect the common flu, could infect your upper respiratory tract. So it's normally self-limiting, and your immune system is able to overcome it.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't become a sequelae of infections or devastating to you, the human being that's been infected in any way, because it's self-limiting and you're able to overcome the viral infection on its own time.
All right, I think we'll take one of our last questions, if not the last. So, I think this is a question that a lot of people have been asking all over the world, and it's been boggling our minds. We're asking, when will life get back to normal? When exactly will life get to normal?
I know we all. I mean, that's the question we all ask ourselves. It's it's sad. It's a sad reality that we are nowhere near to arresting this virus. It's very sad. I mean, from the reports constantly coming into the news feed and even the world meter on coronaviruses, you can see that we are nowhere near arresting it. Even the virus has spread all the way to Fiji. Fiji.
Really?
You can understand that. I am telling you, it's that widespread. It's amazing. It's crazy. It's really amazing. And even in Ghana, we have lit ban on and everything. But, with the agents in the infection, you do not know who is asymptomatic or who is symptomatic. You don't know who is a carrier or who is not a carrier. We are constantly living in fear. Going back to life as normal will take a long period of time. I can tell you for a fact that even I read an article in the UK where the Prime Minister actually wrote letters to parents telling them that their wards have to stay home for the rest of 2020 and resume school in 2021. To make up for the curriculum, they will have to go to school 24/7, weekends included, all holidays taken away, in order to make up for the curriculum. And that is the extent to which we have gotten. So people are not even planning on doing it. Exactly. Because they are believing that for this virus to be arrested, it needs to take the rest of the year for us to understand and completely put a hold on this pandemic. So as of now, if you ask me as an individual that when is life getting back to normal, Joe, you can only hope and pray. You can only hope and pray, stay home, stay safe, practice social distancing, wash our hands with soap and running water, and use hand sanitizers where there's absence of soap and running water. As soon as you get home, you take a bath. In Ghana, we have Dettol. So use Dettol.
All over your body.
Yeah. So, but just make sure that you don't have the psychological aspect of these things too is real. Okay.
Yeah.
People are there. They might not have infection, but the main idea of them being in close proximity to someone who coughs in an environment makes them feel like, my throat is hurting me. I think my eyes is,
that's true.
There. Yeah, so we have to take all that into consideration, but keeping ourselves neat enough in order not to have any potential source of infection to ourselves or even to our family.
Yes.
So it's if you have nothing important to do outside home, it's advisable just to stay home. And so you are safe. And so you know where you are is safe before you can go. But as I advise you now, stay home, stay safe, and practice good hygiene and social distancing. That is the way to go for now.
All right. So Senyo, thanks a lot for joining me on this show today. I think it's been very, very insightful. I think I've gotten all my questions answered, and I think my viewers as well have gotten their questions answered. So thanks once again for joining in the show, and hopefully we will talk again some other time on some other topic. You can bring your expertise on board. Cool. So thanks a lot for joining the show, and we'll talk later. Bye.
Hi, thanks for having me. Bye.
All right. All right. So viewers, that was Senyo Botchie from Noguchi. He's a senior researcher over there. And so let's just put our comments down in the comment section. Let me know how you enjoy the show. Let me know how the stream went, how's the connection, how's everything. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The link is down below in the comments. Music provided by Visionary as well. So keep the comments flowing. You can also put in the comments section any topics that you want me to treat next week. Or if you'd want to come on the show yourself, just put it in the comment section and let's interact. So keep the comments coming in. Let's hear your comments on how the show went today. And thanks everyone for joining. I can see Daniel, yes, Bernice, thanks for joining. Thanks Lawrence for joining as well. I saw your comment. Masad, all the way from Germany, thanks for joining in today. So thanks everyone for joining in the show today. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified anytime I come online on the live stream. And I'll see you guys again next week, same time, same place. Peace. Have a good evening, everyone.